Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Indoor or outdoor wedding?
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcasts should have a theme song. Podcasts should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Indoor or outdoor wedding?
Ooh, I like that last one.
It's like a minister.
Well, Hal, wedding bells will be chiming soon, or not. We don't know if we're going to get bells or a band. We have all of these questions. We have so many things that we need to cover for our wedding. Thank you for indulging me this. I jumped on the Discord and I saw that Keith had put together a bunch of wedding topics. And I thought, if I'm allowed to be very self-indulgent on our podcast, I would love to talk through some of these wedding topics because we are in the middle of figuring it out right now.
Yeah, I mean, why else would you have a podcast if not to be self-indulgent, first of all?
Self-indulgence is the basis of all podcasts.
Second of all, this is our first acknowledged episode since your engagement. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm very, very happy for you. You sent fun story.
Yeah.
This is maybe the most Mark Gagliardi way to tell someone that you're engaged is Mark wrote to me and Fred and Annie, the couple, not his Annie, and said, hey, my Annie is thinking about creating social media video content. And all three of you have done work in video content before. Do you think you could give her advice?
By the way, I can't take credit for this. This was Annie's idea.
This is Annie's idea, but it feels also, well, this is how you know you've met the correct person.
This is why I've met my match.
Because, and so immediately we all say, yeah, of course. You know, what's the question? They're like, well, I'll just have her send a video. She sends a video and she's like, can I tell the story?
Sure, okay please.
My whole thing is I'm going to do makeup tutorials, but with my left hand because I'm not left-handed.
Which, by the way, on the surface is a pretty funny premise.
Great. Look, I work in social media and marketing. I've been doing it for 15 years. That's how you know how my acting career is going. For 15 years, I've been doing social media and marketing, working in the digital marketing space. And some of that involves creating video content. So there's a lens through which I see these things. And that's the brain that turned on.
Yeah.
When I was asked. So Fred answered first with all these. She sends us the video, like, here's the sample video. And she keeps saying, and just so you know, I'm not left-handed. So I'm like, all right, she's really hammering home the premise. She's repeating it. So anybody who comes in the middle of the video, if they
and she's waving her left hand around, throughout this entire video,
keeps showing it. And Fred has all these really like the things I would write, Fred writes as ideas. And then my thought that I added to it as well is like, oh, I think you could go even further with this premise and like really cake it on. And how's it going to look afterwards and really lean into that. And then it's revealed that Mark's like, hey, Annie, can you come look at this? Annie Savage, can you come look at this so somebody can understand? And then I go, and when I watched it, I saw she was wearing a ring on her hand, but I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, she's wearing a ring. But I'm really looking at the video to try to help. I want to give what is the best advice I could give? How do I think? I've been working really hard lately, and we haven't talked about this, on like turning my creative brain on. Because at the end of a work day, I'm exhausted. I do a lot of writing and use that part of my brain a lot at work, whether it's for the live trivia game or whether it's creating social media content or working on marketing plan. Like it all uses that part of the brain. Sometimes it feels like a used up battery at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I'm really trying to apply that. Like I want to think in terms of joke writing and think in terms of I want to use those things for myself. And this is a great opportunity to use them to help a friend. So that is the exact mind space I was in. It was not a dude going like, well, why would she be using her left hand? I just didn't. I was focusing to try to be helpful.
That's the thing. We realized after the fact, we felt bad after the fact because we were like, we actually asked our friends to use their area of expertise. So like you guys came back with actual really good advice. And it was like, oh, now I feel bad that it was meant to be a bit. And then they're like, well, if you're going to start doing these videos, then you should. And it was like, this is legit advice from these guys. And clearly they've put some thought into it. Like, We have just wasted Hal and Fred's time by doing this. But once the revelation happened, it was delightful. I'll tell you this, you weren't the first to do that, because the day after we got engaged, we decided, okay, we're going to let the families know. Let's let our siblings know. Mm-hmm. So we sent a video to my sister, a video to my brother, and a video to Annie's brother. Mm-hmm. Annie's brother is a car guy. My brother is a chef, and my sister has a 2-year-old. So the videos we sent were us introducing our dog to the 2-year-old by very gratuitously petting the dog with a left hand on camera. Sent her brother a video of her pointing under the hood of her car, asking a car question very pointedly with her left hand and a ring showing. And we sent one to my brother that was like, hey, we have a cooking question for you. So she's pointing at the stove with her left hand, obviously. Within seconds, my sister texts back, oh my God, amazing, congratulations. And then within a couple of hours, both Annie's brother and my brother texted back and answered our questions, which was exactly how we expected. Yeah.
You asked people who want to be helpful to help, but all of this to say congratulations to the two of you. It was so wonderful.
We're very excited.
Yes.
But we're prepping now. Now we got to put a wedding together. So I figured we're going to have a lot of questions and a lot of choices to make. And, when I have choices that I need to make, there's only one place I go, and that is to Hal Lublin and the people of the world.
That's right. And to your own decisions. You just
and
go
to
back
my own decisions. I told Annie that I'm going to be insufferable for the next few weeks, because anytime we have a question about the wedding, if it's a topic we've covered on this show, it's going to be, well, honey, I've studied this and ... insufferable sentence.
Let me ask you this, because there are more micro questions. This came from KT Geek, which I think you mentioned.
Yeah. Shout out, by the way, to KT Geek for putting this together, for even asking, hey, should we come up with a bunch of wedding questions? We're not doing exactly a clean slate. We figured, look, we got months until the wedding. We'll throw one of these in every once in a while, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's my question, because this is a larger one. Mm-hmm. This would say you don't have a date booked yet. You have maybe a general idea of when you want the wedding to be, or you're starting to talk about it. And once you get the details figured out, then you'll kick into the mode of getting a date. Which of those is correct? Have you already talked about, like, next summer it's on?
Oh, yeah, we have to, because step one is, I mean, you know this, having been a person who got married. What was your step one in the process? For us, it's find a venue and set a date, find a venue.
We're trying to figure out a date. Mm-hmm. We settled on October 21st. And I can't remember, the 21st had some meaning. My parents got married in October, but maybe her parents had the 21st. There was something that combined the two of them. So that was one piece, like, oh, this seems like the time to do it. But I think we had to figure out where first. And that was agonizing. It was really, really difficult. Yeah. Because when you are two people who have each moved across the country to live somewhere else, then it becomes, well, do we go to Philadelphia where my family is and people from Florida can come visit, and maybe some people from LA will come? Or do we go to Florida where her family is and people will travel and so forth? Or do we make everybody come to LA because this is where we live? That was really, really difficult for two people pleasers to come up with, to the point that when we made our decision, this is a true story. It feels weird to I'm not speaking ill about my mother, who passed away 17 years ago.
No, go ahead. I'll say mean stuff about your mom.
That's true. She's dead. She can't do anything about it. She would love that. Those of you who listen and know her, if my dad's listening, he knows. But we finally settled on, let's get married in Florida at her parents' house. Yeah. That's where her sister got married. It's a family house. It's been there for a long time. It's very nice. There's outdoor space. And, we know all the spaces there. There's no deposit to be put down. We don't have to rent the space or anything. We'll just do it. Then we'll pick a date. When we figured it out, we were so excited and this relief. And we called my parents, who were visiting family in South Florida. My wife is from North Central Florida. We never say the exact area, but near Georgia, that area of Florida. And I talked to my mother. I tell her we've decided we're going to get married in Florida. She's like, that's going to be a long way for everybody to travel. That's
the first thing she said.
She was going through her own stuff. Is not a very Sheila Lublin thing to say. But my response to her was, if that's the way you feel about it, you don't have to come. And I hung up the phone on her.
No.
That's how emotional it was. Then my dad had to call back and broker the peace between the two of us. And she was upset and like she felt bad and apologized. She was 100% in the wrong. Here's the biggest thing. This is the biggest piece of advice. I'll give you two pieces of advice that I will probably echo multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
The only decisions that you have to make about your wedding ultimately are the ones for the two of you. And you will always get a ton of opinions, including mine over the course of these episodes, but it's really up to the two of you to decide what's going to make you happy. That said, when you have a larger wedding, not that you won't enjoy the reception after, I feel like the reception is for the guests and the ceremony is for the two of you. So really
interesting,
hold that sacrosanct, because the rest of it's like, what's food everybody will eat? What's the music everybody will like?
Yeah.
Do we have games? Do we not have games? Is it all around a theme? Do we want everybody to be dressed in tuxedos and formal wear? Do we want them to wear like jeans and t-shirts? Like, what do we want? You get to decide all that, but you will be thinking about other people over the course of it. For your ceremony, that should be for the two of you. What is meaningful to the two of you? What will be special? Everybody's going to have opinions about that. They don't matter. That ceremony's for the two of you. You're the only two people getting married there.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. That is great advice. Yeah, because it's so much of it is focused on the party after the ceremony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's where you've got to have, that's where all the decisions happen. Like, look, man, as far as the ceremony goes, I've made my big decision, my big life decision, and that's who. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yes. You've done the most important part.
And where and when.
Yes, you decided you're going to do this together, so that's really all that matters. Now,
but we are going to determine definitively for all people for all time what the correct, and we can say this is indoor wedding versus outdoor wedding. There will be, by the end of this, an objectively correct answer. That doesn't mean that Annie and I, or millions of couples around the world, aren't going to opt for the wrong answer. We might opt for the wrong answer.
Yep.
Yeah. But you know what? It's all right. That's the subjective part, is whether we want to be wrong.
That's right. Whether you want to be wrong against our decision here. But I also think that it is possible. It's possible there could be a mix here, because I have officiated a number of weddings, including Annie and Fred's, which was an outdoor ceremony, indoor reception.
Yeah. That is one I want to talk about. There are two hybrid models we can talk about.
Yes.
Which is the outdoor wedding, indoor reception, and indoor wedding, outdoor reception.
Do you want to talk about those first? Might as well. We're here.
Sure. Well, actually, what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk about the pros and cons of the indoor versus the outdoor. And then we can add the hybrids, and we won't have to dwell so much on the pros and cons, because it's going to be figuring out, if it is one of the hybrids, it's going to be figuring out the particular alchemy of those decisions, the particular recipe of all the other micro considerations that we're going to have to make in order to determine that.
Sure.
So, where do you want to start?
You'll start with outdoor?
Sure. Here's some of the factors that I think we're going to be looking at.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at the scenery and the atmosphere.
Scenery, atmosphere.
Comfort.
Comfort, yes.
Logistics.
Okay.
Audio and video, or audio and visual, meaning the sound quality, the ability to see everything.
Right.
Cost, flexibility, and some backup needs potentially. But I think we should talk all about the outdoor ones and then all about the indoor ones, rather than go by these categories and look at them that way.
How's large of a wedding do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be just me and Jennifer there as guests, or will you invite other people?
This is super awkward, Hal. It's going to be just you. Does Jennifer listen to the show?
No.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, it's just going to be the three of us.
All right, cool. So Denny's?
I told Annie, I was like, we're going to call this episode, "We Got This, Annie." Mark, did you and Hal plan our wedding? Yes, we did. We have the correct answer for everything. Now we just have to decide whether we want to use the correct answer or not.
The ring bearer is going to be done by that guy on Instagram who sets up 200-foot Hot Wheel loops, is going to put the ring on the car. It's going to blow through all these loop-de-loops, and then it's going to fly, and you put your hand out, and it will deliver the ring to your hand if you hold it at the right angle. Otherwise, he's going to have to reset. It's for the gram, so he's going to have to do it again.
The whole thing is for the gram. Yeah, that's what we're going to do that. Yeah, we're ready for all of it. All suggestions, we're going to take all of them. Whatever Hal says we're going to do for the wedding, that's what we're going to do.
Awesome.
Because it's
Pros
just going to be
and
the three
cons.
of us there.
That's right.
All right. You threw me off with that notion because now I'm trying to say things about the wedding, but all my brain is doing is visualizing that. Just Annie holding out a finger and the ring just like getting blasted onto it.
Listen, one thing you can count on is I'm only going to give you the best possible ideas all the time.
Yeah,
for your wedding.
no, I
now,
know that.
Who is going to be flying in a wingsuit into the ceremony to land? They don't have to be involved in it. They just like, at the end.
Well, it's got to be Annie.
Right before.
It's got to be Annie because I'm all the way up at the front already.
Oh, that's going to be her entrance. So they'll play Danger Zone and she'll come flying in.
Yeah. Who wants to listen to Here Comes the Bride? We want Danger Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Do you remember the ring bearer for John and Becky's wedding? Jonathan Dinerstein, our musician, and Becky Ward Dinerstein, who was our came on and talked about Best Cocktail with us. I know they're listening. We love you guys. I believe it was the ring bearer was a drone. This is early days of drones.
Yes, I remember seeing that drone when they still lived in that apartment in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. They had John showed me the drone, I think in their garage. He was showing me. I was like, it's cool. And back then, there were not small drones. So this was the big drone.
Oh, yeah.
The 4-rotor drone that flew in.
It looked like the helicarrier from the Avengers.
Yeah. It was at Sportsman's Lodge, which is no longer
by
closed,
the way,
right?
Sportsman's Lodge is still there. The building is still there. The grounds are still there. They just did a massive renovation to it. It is now where the Erewhon is. I'm thinking we should get Erewhon to cater the wedding because we want to spend $500,000 on food
for one meatball.
So size wise, that's what we're talking about. for purposes of this.
Okay.
I think we need to set our size because there are 30-person weddings. There are 150-person weddings. Why don't we pick a medium size somewhere in the middle of that? What do you think? 70 people, 75?
Oh, man. I just flash forwarded to the two of you having to put together a guest list.
Dude.
That is the worst.
That's the hardest part. She wanted to do that first. And I said, that my people pleasing and the combination of my ADHD and people pleasing means that is the element of wedding prep that I have dreaded my whole adulthood.
Well,
I can't wait to have a wedding. I'm really nervous about making a guest list.
I will tell you this also. I think anybody who has put together a list like this before, be it for weddings specifically, anybody who's put together their own wedding list, you never, ever feel bad about not being invited to somebody else's wedding ever again. Because how difficult it is to make cuts. There are a handful of people where if you were not invited to their wedding, it would hurt because you would expect to be. It would be weird if you were having a 70 to 100, I guess a 100-person wedding at that level, and I wasn't invited. I would be sad. That would make me sad. I wouldn't hold it against you because I understand it's difficult to plan a wedding. You could both have huge, invite everybody in the family. Do you stop at second cousins? Do you stop at third cousins? Do you invite everybody who's alive? Your friends from elementary school?
Oh, believe me, I've already been reading articles about +1 etiquette.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Who gets a +1?
Let's get these considerations done now,
Yeah.
It's it gets my heart rate up. Heart rate or blood pressure? Blood pressure.
Both.
Yeah. It gets them both up.
Skyrocket.
Yeah. But we're going to say for purposes of this, a 75-person wedding.
75-person wedding. Okay.
That seems like a reasonable medium size for picking between an indoor and an outdoor venue.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it sort of precludes, you don't want to stuff all those people into your friend's backyard.
No. That's the thing. It gets rid of the home backyard wedding.
Yeah. Unless you're like Samuel L. Jackson's neighbor, which I only use his name because I've been to his neighbor's house and it was a full-on mansion, gigantic mansion. So I would assume that his backyard, similar to theirs, would be able to support a larger wedding.
Yeah. I went to a wedding once at a private home, and it was one of these private homes that's so pretty that you think, wow, this would be a great home to use in the climactic scene of a raunchy comedy for them to just thrash this backyard either on purpose or accidentally. And as I was thinking that, I found out, hey, they once shot a raunchy comedy here where the good guys thrashed this whole place at the end. I don't remember what movie it was, but I was like, I told you that's what's perfect for this spot. This looks like the house where someone would say, well, I never, to like a jet ski in the fountain or something like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
You want to see like a nice, well-dressed older couple get splashed real bad or like get the cake hit them. You know what I mean?
Precisely.
Yeah. What I really want is I want a venue where there can be shenanigans. I want trapdoors. I want a pie fight. I want all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I want a fireplace that spins, bookcase that opens to a door.
What about an indoor wedding on the set of Double Dare?
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because
of course.
Here's the thing.
You want Mark Summers there?
Yeah, I will have Mark Summers there. And you know what? Let's get all of the germ guys. We'll get Mark Summers and Howie Mandel to trade off. I think there's something pretty funny about, we can jump right in. And actually, this is the opposite of what I said I was going to do. But talking about scenery, the big difference, I think, between outdoor and indoors as far as the scenery goes is outdoors, you can use natural beauty to your advantage. Whereas indoors, it's going to have to all be man-made within an indoor environment. And if you want a spectacular wow factor, there's going to have to be something that is a spectacular wow within that. You know what I mean? Like if you're getting married on the cliffs of Dover, you don't have to worry about having a beautiful background behind you. You know what I mean?
But if you're also getting married at that Lloyd Wright, not Frank Lloyd Wright, I think his son is Lloyd Wright, the design church down in the Palisades that's like clear glass everywhere. Like that's a cool indoor wedding that makes use of the outdoor spaces built into the outdoor space. Like there are beautiful indoor locations. It's not all the Marriott. No
That's
offense
true.
to Marriott.
Yeah. No, there are a lot of great indoor locations. Some of them that I should mention. I'm glad you asked, Hal. Let's go with some. Why not a palace? Versailles, Neuschwanstein Castle, Ashford Castle in Ireland. Then you've got, you know, opera houses and museums. One that we found, the LA Natural History Museum. You can literally get married and have your reception underneath dinosaur bones. Come on.
Pretty great.
That's awesome. You know who else holds weddings? See, I'm finding out all of this
Disneyland?
stuff. Disneyland does hold weddings. I love Disney. You know, I love Disney.
You
I don't know if I want to get married at work. I like a converted indoor space. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Let's talk about indoor spaces. Since we've gotten to this point, we started with scenery. We're going to indoor spaces because that's the thing that an outdoor space really has. The biggest advantage is the beauty of nature. And can we, in an indoor setting, come up with something as good as what Mother Nature can make?
Yeah, you can't.
No.
The advantage you have is you can have quirky spaces that are converted spaces. You can have just a beautiful, if you're religious or you enjoy churches, synagogues, any religious building, there are beautiful options available to you that either have personal meaning or are just these wonders of architecture. But the other advantage that you have, no matter what the indoor space is, when you are outdoors, you have to think of the time of day that you are getting married. You either want to do, I want it at sunset, which means we have to start at this time. It becomes like crucial that you start at a specific time because you're losing light and then the light's in everybody's eyes. And that's like the perfect picture. And you have this picture in your head and it can be sometimes a little more challenging to make it exactly come through that way. Or you are dealing with the elements. And I don't mean necessarily rain, but possibly wind. It can be really hot. It can be really humid.
Yeah.
You are prey to whatever the climate is wherever you get married if you do it outdoors versus indoors.
So I would argue that if we're looking at indoor versus outdoor weddings, the scenery is going to the outdoor wedding is going to have the advantage as far as the scenery goes, because there's nothing that we can create that Mother Nature can't beat. You know what I mean?
Right.
There was actually, we were shooting a scene for Blood and Treasure in a church in Rome. And, we were joking because they'd spent so much time lighting this one bit of stained glass. It was morning where they're lighting this one bit of stained glass so they get this perfect throw of light through that window onto the area where we had the scene. And then at a certain point, right as we were about to start filming, maybe it's because we were in a Catholic church, but God went, I got this, and sent a beam of light through the window directly above that one that shined a light down onto where we were staging the scene, bigger and brighter and more beautiful than we could possibly have imagined, or in fact, than they had set up. And our DP was like, oh, cool. Hey, thanks for the help. Take down those other lights. We don't need those anymore. There's nothing that a human can do that nature can't beat.
Right.
But like you say, as far as comfort and weather factors go, that's indoor all the way. Because have you ever been to a wet, like you mentioned, something as simple as the light being in your eyes?
Yes.
But I went to a wedding once where the way they had it set up, half of the congregation had direct sunlight beaming down on them in the summertime during the ceremony. And
Right.
the other half was in the shadow of the building because it's late in the day. It's, the sun has already moved a little. So a tall building right next to where you're staging, half of the crowd was looking at the other half of the crowd with envy going, must be nice being in those seats over there where the sun isn't just beating down on you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to a lot of exotic places where there's going to be like exotic or remote. If you're outdoors, you're going to wind up, there's potentially bugs and, heat issues, humidity issues, rain. Rain's a huge one. I feel like this is the big downside to an outdoor wedding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, my wedding was an outdoor wedding.
Yeah. How was it being in Northern Florida? Because in October, do you guys, is that after thunderstorm season? Or do they get thunderstorm season in her end of Florida?
Mark, I'm glad you asked. It poured the day of our wedding.
For how long?
It was gray. It was gray and like drizzling in the morning. And I went on I was staying like a half hour away. The nearest hotel that could accommodate a bunch of people was about a half hour away from her parents' place. And that morning I went and drove around just to sort of like, at this thing, but like I realized what a huge moment lay before me.
Mm-hmm. And
it started to drizzle a little bit. And I got into, I think, a van with all my friends who were wedding party, like best man and the 5 groomsmen I had. Mm-hmm. And as we're driving over, it is torrentially pouring. We pull up to the house and the rain stops.
Hey, that's great.
And still cloudy. And I think either as our ceremony began or when it ended, the clouds parted and it didn't rain again for the rest of the day.
Come on.
So it's pretty crazy.
That's wild. My sister's wedding almost got rained out.
It could have happened to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were delayed by a while,
Right. It's like a baseball game.
And then there was a whole van issue. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I feel like this is the big one, right? This is the big one. It is, if we look at, like, while we're looking at the problems of, I feel like we've nailed the biggest pro and the biggest con of an outdoor wedding. The biggest pro being Mother Nature is beautiful. The biggest con being Mother Nature is a pain in the neck sometimes.
Right.
The biggest benefit of an indoor wedding is the difference between shooting on location and shooting in a soundstage. You are in a controlled environment. You can control the light, the sound, the comfort, where the bathrooms are, the seating. If there's more elderly people, the ground is going to be firmer. There's not anything to worry about there. It's a significantly more controlled environment.
Right. That is true. And that relates to comfort. But what I'd like to do is take a break here. And then when we come back, I'm going to give you the number one comfort factor in which indoors clears outdoors by a country mile.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yes. You'll hear that after this break.
All right.
Hey, it's Sue the subway train. Hey, guess what, Sue? I just inherited a game show, and I have to continue it because there are people out there who like to curl up into a ball and listen to it. Yeah, it's a podcast where listeners submit game show ideas for others to play on air. Well, it is. In fact, the dumber the better. Right. It's called Dr. Game Show. Some curled up balls consider it a tradition, while others call it a train wreck. No, not you, Sue. It's Dr. Game Show. If you're the sort that likes to listen to people competing for refrigerator magnets, then curl up into a ball and listen to Dr. Game Show every other Wednesday, MaximumFun.org.
Are you a 5-star baddie? If you answered yes, then Black People Love Paramore is the podcast for you. Contrary to the title, we are not a podcast about the band Paramore. Black People Love Paramore is a pop culture show about the common and uncommon interests of Black people in order to help us feel a little bit more seen. We are your co-hosts, Sequoia Holmes,
Jewel Wicker,
and Ryan Graham.
And in each episode, we dissect one pop culture topic that mainstream media doesn't associate with the Black people, but we know that we like.
We get into topics like ginger ale, the Golden Girls, Black romance, Uno, and so much more.
Tune in every other Thursday to the podcast that's dedicated to helping Black people feel more seen. Find Black People Love Paramore on MaximumFun.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, Hal, what is it? I had to wait through all those commercials. They're all great podcasts.
Fantastic commercials.
Yeah.
One word.
One word.
Chairs.
Chairs.
Now, depending on the company you use, they can provide weak, bad chairs. But if you get married at like a hotel, and I've been a best man at a hotel wedding, it was completely indoors. There was one room. They had set up a scrim, and that was where the ceremony took place, which my best friend officiated for my other best friend. And then I was one of the best men. I was co-best man with someone else. And there was a weird thing where we were supposed to step on a glass and break it at the end, but they didn't have the glass. So we go behind the scrim where there are a bunch of different glasses there. We're not sure. We're like looking around and we start throwing napkins up behind the scrim to make it look like we're searching. This is a bunch of theater people. Like, look like we're searching, turn it into a bit. But the chairs are those sturdy, thick cushion with the back that like kind of leans. You can sort of rock in the chair a little bit. And then you get that again when you're sitting to eat. Like comfort, outdoor chairs, by and let. Sometimes you get the folding chairs. That's no bueno. Sometimes you get the weak, smaller chairs, just too hard, not comfortable. That comfort, you're already wearing a suit, which you may or may not be comfortable. Like everybody wants to be in sweatpants all the time, I assume. Or maybe just me.
Look, man, you're talking to the wrong guy for that. I wear jeans to the gym, so
yeah, exactly.
Not actually.
Comfortable chairs, super important.
See,
and indoors is usually better.
Not to me, man. I'm gonna be standing up the whole time.
You'll sit eventually for 2 seconds and then not get to eat.
No, that's fair.
Throughout your whole wedding.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Annie put a sandwich in her purse.
I was at a wedding recently where the bride and groom, like they ate. They were like, no, we set aside, like we're going to eat now. Like smart. I applaud that. Important. Another important piece of advice that'll come up again. Make sure you eat beforehand, either pregame it or know that you're going to be like pressing flesh the whole time and saying hello to everybody and going around all the tables so that people get FaceTime with you.
Look, Hal, don't worry about it because as far as food goes, to misquote Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, that's my secret. I'm always pre-gaming. Yeah. Bag of cashews. Check. Loose chocolates.
Is Mark wearing a yellow bow tie? Nope. Just mustard. In a bow tie shape. Very impressive.
Yeah. Oh, well, I had that farfalle pasta earlier and one also spilled there.
Tiny yellow mustache.
Tiny. Oh, man. I mean, that's the bow tie I'm going to wear for the wedding.
Little,
one that looks like a bow tie pasta.
Farfalle, yeah. And you'll also have a mustache, like I said, by mistake. There. Mustard mustache.
A mustard stash.
Yeah, mustard stash.
All right, let me throw this out there, Hal, and tell me what you think. It sounds like we've determined what the big major primary difference is between them on the pro and con scale, and they're sort of directly inverted. One is the majesty of nature versus an indoor space that can't possibly compete with the majesty of nature versus the comfort that you get from an indoor space, the comfort and the controllability versus the having to have contingency plans or dealing with hot, cold, muggy, mosquito-y, or any of those other factors, like the comfort factor versus the beauty factor.
Yeah.
Those being the big ones. I think it sounds like just logistically and comfort-wise, for the relaxation and the satiety, comfort, joy. Let's get rid of anything unpleasant so that the day can be pleasant function or situations. It sounds like indoors wins that hands down. But I think there are a few factors that I think that outdoor weddings might beat indoor weddings on as a venue goes. Let me throw a few of these out for you.
Okay.
Number one, flexibility. An indoor space is going to be more rigid because they have 4 walls. You are going to be constrained by the room that you are in. I know that we've set our 70-person wedding as our baseline for this.
Yeah.
But if we wanted more than that, it's harder to accommodate that indoors. Outdoors, it's easier to add a few more chairs or change things around. It's a bit more flexible, it seems. We didn't talk about all the rentals and things. That's another bonus for an indoor is you have to bring, with an outdoor one, a lot of times you're going to have to bring the tents, you know what I mean?
If you're going to have tents, yes. Yeah, all that stuff. There's going to be rental costs no matter what you do.
Sure.
You have to pay for the space in both cases.
Yeah. Again, you've already done this. I'm speculating, my friend.
It just depends. Even if you I don't know how many the chairs come with it's part of the rental fee, but that also may be the case with outdoor spaces. Again, if it's a ranch like Calamigos where they have a lot of events, they have chairs.
Got married at Calamigos.
You're using their vendors. I would imagine the friends who got married there. If you wanted to get married somewhere, friends have been married. You have an edge because you already somebody who can sort of guide you through the process of it. But I will say there are only so many ways you can make a ballroom at a hotel look different. It's your flowers, your colors. But in general, this is where we always set up the DJ/band. This is where we set up if you have a photo station. This is where we set up the dessert bar if you do that. We do the cake cutting here. They know all that stuff, and switching it up is not going to help you.
Yeah.
But there are also cool spaces that aren't that where you can really make it your own with the decorations that you bring into it, or find spaces where you wouldn't normally have a wedding and make that the space where you have yours. And then you do get some flexibility just because it's not your normal spot. It's a little more work, but there is some flexibility. Not the same as an outdoor space, but even then they're this is where people stand. We have this set up for weddings. This is where we hold, in general, the receptions are here, cocktail hour here, and then we lead them to this yard. That stuff exists everywhere, but you don't have walls to hang stuff on. You got to bring your walls too if you're going to do that. You putting stuff on stakes or sitting stuff on the ground. So,
I mean, it's a bit like the difference between camping and staying in a hotel.
True.
You have to bring a lot more of the stuff, but you're getting a heck of a better view.
Right. But only one of them do you have to take turds in a river or near one, or bury your turds and then hang your trash from a tree.
Oh, no. We're going camping theme. We're going to be burying our turds around the venue. Yeah. We're going camp theme on this. The other ones that I want to mention, the atmosphere, an outdoor atmosphere can seem less formal, more relaxed. And for us in particular, I like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel it doesn't seem to have the same formality. And then a big one is you want this to live in your memory forever, right?
Yes.
But in addition to living in your memory forever, you also want it to live in good photographs forever. And an outdoor wedding is going to give you more opportunity for better photos.
A good photographer is going to give you your better chance at getting good photos wherever they are.
Indoor or out?
Indoor or out. A good photographer is going to get good pictures.
All right.
Wherever you are. I agree that there are a lot of photo ops for outdoors that are cool places. You can get very creative with it. But if you have a good photographer, you'll get pictures that you will love.
Yeah. I just mean lighting wise.
Sure. It's certainly a different lighting. It's both an opportunity and a challenge to work outdoors, as you know, having worked on television and done photo shoots outdoors. That can be.
Yeah. TV plus theme parks. I've done both.
Yeah. Don't stand under this tree because it's too shady. You wind up having to produce light anyway most of the time.
That is true. Yeah.
But that said, if there's an outdoor space that you both love that is important to you, then that's the place to do it. And you get lots of cool pictures that have meaning for you. To me, it's not there's only one picture from my wedding that I really hold on to. And it's the one right after we kissed and we were doing our recessional. and Jennifer was not throwing, but like she was like enjoy holding her bouquet in the air.
Yeah.
Because she was so excited, like playing to the crowd. That's just a really fun moment that I remember. It reminds me of the ceremony in the end, like remembering it.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have to get a good video of the ceremony, because that's another thing that I hear from a lot of people is they're like, it was absolutely beautiful, and I don't remember a single second of it because I was so nervous. Let's talk briefly about the hybrid, because I think the hybrid there's a lot going for the hybrid. It sounds like for logistics and all of that indoor wins, but I think there might be a way to get the best of both worlds based on what we've been talking about, either an indoor ceremony, outdoor reception versus outdoor ceremony, indoor reception. I think the latter of those two gives us the most of the best of all possible worlds, because you can get Mother Nature's beauty during the ceremony, but you can get a paved or wooden or carpet or laid floor and a comfortable indoor space for the bulk of the thing. If it's about the view, then have the ceremony in the outdoor space, because the ceremony is going to be half an hour and the reception's going to be multiple hours, right? The reception's a lot longer than the ceremony, unless you're Catholic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even then they can be pretty quick.
Yeah. It's like, here is one beautiful picture that we are making outdoors. Great.
Yes.
Everybody get that one beautiful picture that we're all looking at, and we see the nature around us. Great. Now let's go inside and have a party.
Yep.
As opposed to, I feel like you'd have to rent way more stuff if you did it in the reverse order. If you had the wedding ceremony inside and then the party outside, you've got to take into account so many more considerations if you're throwing the party outside.
Yeah, we had our ceremony outdoors, and then not indoors, but like a permanently covered giant space. It was like an RV. It was meant to be like an RV place to hold the RV.
Yeah, I've been in ones
like
that are
multiples.
in like a big barn, a big empty barn is
had
where
like a barn feel to it. It is now actually a barn stands on that spot, but that allowed a covered place just in case it rained again. And that's where all the activities are. So I do think an outdoor ceremony and an indoor reception is the way to go.
No
matter how you do it.
Did we just solve this then?
Yeah. People of the world, get yourself married outdoors. Get married al fresco. You'll love it. And then go indoors for climate controlled fun. And you don't want your food will last longer. It's just better. That stuff's better indoors. And also, like, it's kind of fun when you leave for the night. Even if it's not your wedding, like, you know, you leave the party and you can hear the music and people who are still there going, like, it gets kind of fainter and fainter. You go outside, like, it's got, like, you're taking a memory of it with you. That, like, trailing sound is like the memory of it. That is why you want your receptions in the streets. And your
no, the opposite.
No, sorry. Have your ceremony in the streets and your reception in the sheets, asked and answered.
Oh, I'm excited about these wedding topics, Hal. Once this popped up, thank you to KT Geek and to Keith for, I say that like it's two different people. Thank you to Keith for coming up with this notion. And I think we're going to have some fun with these in the future. Yeah. You know, it's nice to take a little break from pop culture geeking out and go to other versions of geeking out. So thank you for indulging this.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. This is already fun. Think how much fun you had here, and it's going to be even more fun. And you won't even be at the wedding, people listening. I mean, some of you will, depending on how well you know Mark and Annie. But you're having fun just talking about the planning of it. And maybe by the end of this series, we'll know, like, we'll check back in after you actually have the wedding and see how you feel compared to all the decisions that we've made.
Yeah. Now that we have objectively determined that this is correct, we just have to determine whether we are subjectively going to do the correct version or the incorrect version. So, but now at least we know what the correct one is. Yeah,
that's right.
We make those decisions all the time.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. This topic is closed, but there are many more topics to discuss. So please reach out to us via email at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com or
Find us on the social media at We Got This Podcast, with the exception of Instagram, where we are at We Got This Show. You can join our Facebook group, of course, but you really want to go to our Discord. That's bit.ly/WGT Discord, where we get all sorts of great topics going on. There's a book club there. It's all happening on Discord. Join us there, but also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've been doing more and more exclusive content on YouTube, and it costs nothing for you to subscribe and get notifications when new content is available. So we're trying to extend slowly the tentacles of We Got This to all media until we take it all over. And we need you to do it. Go, please subscribe, follow, engage, repost, do all the fun stuff with our content because we're asking you to, and we're nice. We're nice people.
We're nice guys. And you know what? The We Got This verse is not going to build its sound stages and its giant studio by itself. We're going to have to do it ourselves. Yeah.
So help out with
People
that.
of the Worldwide Pictures.
People of the Worldwide Pictures, that'll be the name of it. It'll be two of us holding up a globe together and then spinning it slowly. Our hands will move on the statue. Or maybe it'll be what we do when we're having downtime. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world, for giving us a chance to talk about things that are important to us and moments in our lives that are either upcoming or fondly remembered. We hope that you take that into your everyday and celebrate the moments in your lives that are upcoming and fondly remembered. And thank you for giving us a chance to do this. It's a great big hug from you and for you. We wouldn't do it without you. We couldn't do it without you. So to you, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows supported
directly
by you.